So I was about 8 or 9 years old when my relationship with questions turned. I remember an important leader in my life mentioned that they'd eloped. Now, I don't recall what I said, but I know they did not like it. They proceeded to tell me that they didn't want me to say another word. And in that same statement, they mentioned a word that I was unfamiliar with. So, to know me is to know I'm curious. Some of you may call that nosy, and you'll be all right. But I couldn't fathom remaining in a confused state, so I opened my mouth and I said, "What does that mean?" Before I could finish my question, I was met with the punishment of my response. Didn't I tell you not to say another word? You're gonna learn to listen to me. And that's where I found myself stuck. Just listening. Journey with me for a moment. I wonder what your relationship is like with questions. Where does your mind journey when you are asked a question or asking one? How does your body respond? Do you get nervous? Are you able to breathe and think through that? I wonder if you've ever been in a situation where you've asked a question and to this day, you've yet to receive an answer. Do you remember what you asked? Do you remember your response? How about who you asked? Was it a parent? A sibling? How about a friend? My 8-year-old experience would soon journey me down an interesting path with questions, with self-doubt, and frustrations with my own thoughts. But I soon realized I wasn't alone in this. Many of us have experienced moments just like this one. Think about it. We're in a classroom, and the teacher announces there's no such thing as a dumb question. Then the moment comes where we ask our question, and the room fills with looks of disgust, as if we've disqualified ourselves from ever asking again. As much as I've tried to forget moments like this, they've only represented themselves when there was another opportunity to ask and I hesitated or opted out asking at all. This was the moment when curiosity felt unsafe and my thoughts felt more like a hindrance rather than a unique form of expression. So, let me ask you another question. How is your relationship with curiosity? When did it alter? I never thought of thinking about this until I started climbing the corporate ladder. You know, the one we all try to rise up, right? I remember wanting to throw for my dream position. And listen, y'all, I waited 6 years for the opportunity to apply for this position. And I was so excited. Now, my leaders believed in my ability to execute well, but there was a suffering I experienced with interviewing. And if I'm honest, I still to this day experienced that suffering. Now, I remember coming to the room, and y'all, I looked sharp. I mean, I had my best suit on. Very expensive. Because I really wanted them to know not only I could do the job, but I could look good doing it. I remember going in for lunch with the other candidates. And then it was my turn immediately afterwards to meet with those decision makers. I remember walking into the room, and as my knees started to bend to sit on the chair, the confidence to speak left me. My heart was pounding so loud, I couldn't hear me or them. My hands, I didn't know what to do with my hands, but they were signing, "Help me! I am losing it." The woman that confidently walked into the room quickly left when they said, "So, tell us about yourself." I was so embarrassed, ashamed that my thoughts and what I had already done couldn't come out because my relationship with questions had opportunity. I kept apologizing because they kept stopping to allow me to breathe and gather myself. I couldn't get out the chair fast enough when they let me go. I found the nearest restroom. I locked the door. I went to the sink to begin to wash my hands, and before the tip of my fingers could touch the water, I took a deep breath. I looked in the mirror, and I tilted my head, searching for the words of encouragement. I found them, and I said to myself, "Girl, you didn't get that job. Now it's your turn. What scenario do you remember? Was it your first date? Or you asked for that raise that you deserve? At some point, our relationship with questions has to prove itself. After this scenario, my leaders start asking questions like, "What's wrong with Jessica? Why is she so nervous? Why can't she speak on the things that she performs on a daily basis? Why isn't she the same Jessica that she is on her podcast?" These questions shocked me. I mean, was I switching things up? Was I being fake for the world to see? Their questions started allowed me to investigate their perspective. And what I come to find out is that everything has its place. Think about it. Trees, they have ground to grow. Birds, they need trees to nest. Therefore, words need a safe space to land, a place free of judgment and where curiosity is encouraged. The thing about podcasting is allowed me to interact with a lot of people. And those people that are guests on my podcast always talk about how comfortable they feel. Or better yet, this is my favorite phrase, "I've never said this before." I then started to reflect on the opportunity to take this feeling, this safe space, beyond the camera. Can I make this mobile? I just recently started going on outings with my elementary school friend, David. Now, David has autism, so his lifestyle is a bit different from mine. On our outing to the Birmingham Zoo, which was our first one in many years, I was reconnected with David's did you know questions about animals, especially dinosaurs. As we continued on down our path, I started to become curious about David's ideas and thoughts beyond animals. How did he see himself? So when we were waiting on his father to pick him up, we sat on the bench and I looked at him and I said, David, if you didn't have autism, what would you want your life to be like? In good old David fashion, he smiled and said, Jessica, that's a good question. I'd be famous and have more friends. Immediately, I told David that I would like to meet with him every month, and if it was okay with him, I would like to document our experience. And we've done just that. In one moment, curiosity felt more like a solution versus punishment. Safe spaces, they don't begin with answers. They begin with questions. So, allow me to ask you the same thing I asked David. If you didn't live with unasked questions, or better yet, the unanswered one, what would your life be like? Would you be more confident? Would fear and anxiety take a back seat to what life has to offer you? For me, I think life would be more simple. I believe that 8-year-old Jess would understand that it wasn't what she asked or even the fact that she asked it, but many haven't experienced safe spaces to express themselves. So, what's the hidden cost of unasked questions? The hidden cost is me. When I don't ask, I lose the beautiful opportunity to experience what life has to offer. This is why it's important to keep things simple, bringing ease to our questions and freedom to our thoughts. This is the option worth living for, because life could truly be more simple if you just ask. Thank you.